times where you're assigned to work with somebody that you may not get on with, you know, and you feel like you can't work with them or act with them. But sometimes in the real world, you are put with people that you may not necessarily get on with, but, you know, you both got a job to do, you know, and it's not about whether you like them or not, you know, you both got a job to do at the end of the day. And I think that is a lot of experience that I had to learn in college, that in life you may be working with people you may not necessarily get on with, but you learn to put things aside to do the best that you can do and to be the best person that you can be in that situation. And knowing how to put certain things aside to get the work done. And in college, I had to do that a lot with people, or people who just wouldn't take it seriously, performing and acting and what we do. And not taking it seriously, joking about, messing about. And the valuable lesson for me was doing my part. I can't make them do what I do. I can't make them take it seriously. I can't change their mind, and I can't, change the way they're behaving. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. But making sure that I'm always doing what I can do, the best that I can do, doing my part, so that, when grading comes or when somebody comes to assess you, you're doing your part and you know that you haven't let certain things affect you. Yeah, that's what I would say. If I could change one thing about the industry, I would take it back to being more inclusive, and in a way making it more worldwide. We know the industry is heavily around America and the States, and trying to make that more inclusive by making it more worldwide, as in you don't have to be in the States, you don't have to live there, you don't have to necessarily go there, because you can do the same but somewhere else, so I would just make it more inclusive. So making more of an evident path for newcomers. It's not always about people you have known for years and years and years, and they get all the work. Once they're in something, then you see their name time and time again, and you're hardly ever really seeing new people who haven't really got credits to their name. So more inclusive, a way for us to break in a lot easier than now, because it's not easy at all. So finding a way to make it easier, even if it's a smaller show or a smaller TV show or company that specifically only works with people who haven't had credits, a way to break them in. I would, that's how I would say, and making more, available paths for people to break in a lot easier than it is now. Yeah. What do you think would make the industry healthier for newcomers? I think allowing newcomers to really know the foundation and basics for the industry, because I think sometimes, and definitely with child actors, they're not really equipped fully of what the industry actually is, I guess, or what it takes really to be a performer in the industry. So to know what you're really getting into, what is expected, how hard, how easy, more current. Because I do think sometimes the stuff that we do, it doesn't really fully equip you with the knowledge you really do need to stay in the industry or just get into the industry. So I think that would make it healthier for newcomers to understand it more on a true level that's authentic, that's not watered down, like you really know. Yeah, that's what I would say. How could casting processes be improved? Maybe more casting directors. I know that with COVID, it's more self-taping now more than ever. Beforehand, it probably wasn't as much casting, self-tape, because it's easier for you to go into studios and travel, and more often than not now, you take your phone out or your camera and you record a self-tape. So maybe more casting directors, because there's probably not much for projects. That's where they have to keep skipping and going through thousands of auditions. So I would say that maybe. Cultural shift that I would hope to see in entertainment would be more authenticity, I think, in terms of locations, people, more authentic, more real. So not just dramatized, not exaggerated, but just real is what I would say. Really in depth, where you can really see something and think, yeah, that is real, that is true, I would say. One outdated standard that needs to go. Off the top of my head, maybe the whole it's not what you know but who you know. The industry is about a lot about connections, and you know, when you meet people and then you have a good first impression, and then you get in contact with people, you keep people's details, and then maybe they can pass your details on and give a good word about you, which is fine, but it also should be about what you know, because that's the whole point of the industry and the art, and people who really study and constantly working on their craft. But if they don't know anybody in the industry, it is going to be a lot harder for them. Whereas somebody who has also done the work and has also studied and built on their craft, but because they knew somebody who may already be in the industry or who is already in the industry, they could have their head start already because of the connections. So I would also say it should also be about what you know, not just about who you know, but what you know, because at the moment it sort of is about who you know as well. So it should be more on the what you know. And again, going back to earlier, really about the talent and the skill first. So yeah, that's what I would say. What advice I would give to my younger self would be, don't be afraid to be more bold in what you love, in what you do, in anything. Be bold. Take those chances. You know, don't doubt yourself. Just do it, you know, and then see where it takes you. If it's what you really want to do, just do it and be bold. That's what I would say. What I wish I didn't stress about would be not getting into uni or drama school. At the time, it did really affect me, and it did push me back a lot. Like, I wanted to give up on acting because I felt I wasn't good enough because I didn't get in. And so I wish I didn't stress about it, because there are other ways. And where I am now, I didn't go now. So, and I have found other ways to still be active in the industry. So I wish I didn't stress about it and take a break from the industry because of it. Yeah, there's no need to stress about that. A moment from my past that I'm most proud about is when I was in college and I did my final project for my level 3 course in performing and production arts. It's when I had to multi-role. So it was a play of not a lot of us, but we all had to play different characters in that one play. And we performed it as a theatre piece to an audience. And then we got chosen to be a part of the National Theatre Connections Festival. So the National Theatre came in to do the same play, but recorded as a film, kind of. So we were mic'd up and everything. And I'm proud of it because I stressed a lot about it, about messing up on a line, because we still had to do it like a theatre piece. So there's no, if I mess up on a line, restart, do it again. No, it was still theatre, which is live, right? And I'm most proud of it because I doubted myself a lot before that. I doubted that I could do it. I kept messing up on lines in rehearsal. So I was really, really, really stressed. But once it was time to perform and record, the cameras were on, I did it. And I'm really, really proud of myself for it because I stressed a lot. And I mean, that's common for me. I stress before the performance, and then when the performance is here, I get on with it and I don't mess up. So I am proud about that because I had to play multiple roles, and the one scene I kept messing up on was I had like a 2-3 page monologue, and it says so you have to do it in one go, and I kept messing up. I'm a script, like, is it a fanatic or whatever the word? When I get given a script, I really want to do everything that's on the script. So if I mess up once, I get annoyed. So, but I did it, and I'm definitely most proud about that. What I would tell my younger self about confidence is that I'm here for a reason, in the simplest form. We all have our talents, we all have our gifts, we all have our desires, and we all have our wants. We all have different things about ourselves. You know, what is what is yours, it's yours. It's what makes you who you are. And I would say, you know, there is nothing wrong with you, you know? Yeah, that you can put your mind to it. You know, don't compare yourself. What's for them, it's for them, but what is for you is for you. You are you, unique. Yeah, I would say just find you. Find you in everything and run with it and stick with that. Yeah. How I would reassure my younger self about the future is that don't be afraid of it, because I was always afraid of the future. Anytime I think about the future, I would get scared because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But I'm now in the future, technically, in a way. Yeah, don't be afraid. Just keep doing what you're doing. You know what you want to do. You have your thoughts, you have your ideas, you have your desires. Just head towards it. Do what you feel you need to do and just head towards it and let the rest sort itself out. Just keep going. Keep going. Nobody knows what the future holds, but just do what you feel you're here to do and the rest will sort itself out. I think one reality of acting is that honestly you can do anything with what you're given. And I think sometimes, especially myself, I can get stuck in a box of the first thing my mind goes to is what I do. And I think, okay, that's the way it needs to be. But it's that feeling of, no, it can be changed, it can be molded, it can go any other way. It's about what feels best to the whole message that needs to be performed. And that in itself is just what makes it beautiful. You can do it anyway. It can probably go anyway, depending on what the scene actually is about. It's surprising, but also thrilling. It's the fun of it, I would say. What I wish someone warned me about, I would say the accent. So maybe it's because I didn't go to uni or drama school. But before really professionally getting into the industry, I didn't think it was that important, or I thought that you could get a role and then you'd have a dialect coach. Like, you can just speak how you are and you'll always have like a dialect coach to help you anyway. But the importance of, especially the standard American accent, it's like, it's almost like a must with pretty much every project or majority of the projects. And it's not talked about enough. But maybe it's because I didn't go to uni or drama school. But I wish somebody would have really said that to me, because if I didn't get in, then all that time I could have been also spending on accents, like truly. Because I do think some drama schools or unis, they do focus on that as well. But obviously I didn't go. So yeah, I think that's what I would say I would want to be warned about. A skill that I realize is now essential for the industry, I guess I would say about the accents again, especially the general American, because, you know, majority of the projects we see are American based. You know, we've got Hollywood, and so a lot of those films and TV shows, it's mainly American based. It's not just America, but it is the most, is it prominent? It's the most common. And I would say it is essential because there's a lot of projects that want the general American. So that's why I would say. A misconception that I had about the industry is probably just the fact that if you've got talent. Because as we all know, it's not just about talent, but that misconception of, okay, if, you know, if I can just be a good actor and do lessons and all of that, then it will be fine. But no, it's not just about talent. So yeah, that's probably a misconception that I had once upon a time. My perception of success is slightly different. I've never thought about success in terms of awards, being known, or being a big actor per se. My perception of success is just doing what I love. Doing what I love and being able to be consistent in that. So the regularity of it, or the frequency of it, if that's the word, just being able to constantly do what I love every single day. That is a success for me, because there's a lot of people in life that are not at a place where they're doing something they fully love, whether they've stopped themselves from being there or life has happened a different way for them and they weren't able to. So for me, that's a success in itself, to be able to just do what you really, really love, like your heart's desire. For me, that is successful. Outside of acting, what brings me joy is singing and dancing specifically, but if that's classed as performing, because that's what I do anyway, I would say I love gaming. I love gaming. I'm always on the game as well, every single day when I can and when I am at home, not doing anything else. And personal stuff, I guess. I love doing my hair, so I'm always doing my hair, if that counts. I like photography. I have a cat, so I love taking pictures of my cat. I bother him all the time. And yeah, spending time with family as well. I have a big family who I'm constantly surrounded by. So yeah, spending time with my family. And watching films. Films, TV shows, reality TV. But the only reality TV that I actually watch is Love Island. So yeah, I would say those things are what brings me joy on a daily. Peace for me looks like doing what you feel like you've always wanted, or living in a way you feel like, I'm at home, this is what I'm here for. For me, that's what peace looks like. Your heart's desires, and finding your purpose. Like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Genuinely, that's what peace would look like for me. Simple pleasure that always lifts my mood. Dancing, no matter what. Dancing always lifts my mood. I'm always dancing. I can't help myself. Even when I'm driving and a song comes on, I'm just like, oof. And then I just go. Obviously, you can't fully dance when you're driving. But yeah, dancing, no matter what, I'm always dancing. Always. Who grounds me when life gets a bit chaotic? Honestly, I would say it's my faith. Regardless. And life does get chaotic for everybody. But just having those times where I can really recuperate or regenerate. I don't know the word, but come back to myself and to pray and yeah, just work on, my relationship with the Most High, and just really just forget about all the worries, forget about all of that, and just put it in his hands, really, and to find what it is I'm meant to do, or what I feel my heart or who I am is more in tune with or in line with, and just doing what I can to live in the purpose that has been put on my life, to be honest. But that's what I do when it gets chaotic. Yeah. Something I do that's just for myself, I create stories. But I think what I've noticed is I don't put it on paper, and maybe that's what I should do. But I create stories in my head. Honestly, create storylines, create people, visualize a character, act a character, say lines. I just create stories in my head and I just act it out. And I do that for myself. I just feel comfortable and myself at ease when I do that. And I do that for myself. I should probably do a bit more, but yeah, that's what I do for myself. I think the most important advice I would give to someone starting out is find ways to invest in your craft. Whether that's lessons, acting lessons, dance lessons, singing lessons. Find a way to stay active in your passion, because it keeps your passion alive as well. Even as through social media and doing little clips here and there, that's a little bit of short form content, but finding a way that you can stay active in your passion so your passion doesn't die. Keep the passion alive through classes, through training if you can, or through social media, little bits and pieces that you can act out and put out there. That's what I would say. What should new actors avoid doing early in their career? I would say blindly doing things because you heard that's the way to do it. So I would say just blindly emailing agents or casting directors or people in the industry blindly. So let's say you don't put any of your portfolio forward, whether it's headshots or your details, mainly headshots, really, like an acting resume. Avoid doing that early. I did that at the beginning before I even had headshots. You know, it's professionalism, if that's the word. You know, you are your brand, you know, and that comes with your headshot and how you then approach them so they can see what you look like as well. And also how you would talk to your friend is not really how you would send an email. So I think invest in yourself before you take those first steps. Don't blindly do something because, oh, this is how I heard, you know, you get somewhere, you email an agent, you email a casting director, which you do. But you do that with your brand, and that comes first through your headshot so they can know what you look like. You don't need to have credits at that point, but your headshot, and you're putting yourself out there, but you've got to have that headshot first and foremost. So I think that's what I would say. Habits that help me grow the fastest, I think, goes back to being bold and to try new things. Don't put myself in this box where, okay, this is what I think it should be and that's just what I'm going to run with. No, try new things. Try different ways to act the scene out, different ways to act as a person in a scene. But yeah, don't put yourself in a box. Try new things if it's within your, you know, comfort range, but sometimes go out a little bit out of your comfort range, you know, as long as it doesn't go against who you are as a person. But I think, yeah, being bold to do those things and not sticking yourself in a box and restricting yourself and your talent and who you are and what you can do. So yeah, I would say that would be the habits that help me grow. How should new actors handle rejection? Try to think of positive things, you know, try to let the positive outweigh the negative. So then it can be a negative for a no, because obviously you don't want to get a no, you want to go, yes, you're booked, right? But through the no, just realize, okay, you know, it's not the end of the world. You know, you're still healthy, you're still here. There's still life in you, there's still breath, you know, where there's life, there's hope. So just keep going. Keep being active in what you do. Keep fueling your passion, because ultimately your passion is what keeps you going through the rejection. So the rejection is hard because you're like, oh my days, like, when can I get something? I just want to do what I love. But that's what keeps you going, you know, because you realize this is what I want to do. That feeling when you get when you're performing, it's that feeling like, yeah, I'm at home. This is what I want. This is who I am. This is what I want to do. And I would say that that's the way to handle rejection. The passion outweighs the rejection. That's what I would say. So find ways to keep the passion alive, because that's what's going to keep you going. It's the only thing that's going to keep you going. So that's what I would say. Number one lesson I've learned that every newcomer should know, I would say, is learn how to speak to people. I'm a massive introvert, which a lot of people be like, you're not an introvert. But maybe I'm an ambivert, if that's the word, a bit of both. Because when I'm acting or dancing or whatever, I'm confident enough to do it because I love doing it, you know. But I am still an introvert because I like my own space. I like being alone. I like being with me, myself, and I. But outside of that, you know, with what we do, it's a very people-based industry. We'll always be meeting new people, constantly being around other people, working with people. You know, you've got co-stars, co-workers, directors, people on the crew, you know, camera people, camera operators, lighting operators. So you're always surrounded by all sorts of people. So you can be an introvert. There's nothing wrong with being an introvert, but also try to train yourself as well to know how to, I wouldn't say switch it off, because it's who you are. That's who I am, to be honest. So I wouldn't say switch it off, but train yourself to have a little bit of the extrovert. You don't need all of it. It's not everybody, right? And you don't all need to be the same. But I would say a little bit of the introvert, because you don't want to come across as, you know, that you don't get on with people or rude or, you know, along those lines. So train yourself to, or put it on, I guess. You know, we're performers or actors. Yeah, because it's a people based, you know, you're not going to have any film where it's just you and nobody else is around. No. So learn how to be with other people professionally, how to speak to other people professionally, how to turn that bit on. And then when you're driving home or on the tube back, then, you know, you can switch it off because it's just you. So yeah, I would say, yeah, train yourself to know how to be around people for a certain amount of time, because sometimes when you're booked on a gig, you're there for a long time, 6 months, a year, however, training, rehearsing, filming, and then the project comes out. You know, there's a lot that goes into what we do. So you're constantly around your people, right? And they become your family after a certain amount of time because you're working together for so long. So I would say that, specifically if you are an introvert. So yeah, I would say that. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope I answered all the questions correctly. I hope they were clear, understanding, precise, if that's the right word. And I hope to hear from you soon.